Doors. A Roblox horror game involving doors was released to the public on August 10th, 2022, mainly developed by users nicknamed Lightning Splash and Redibles, has completely blown up in popularity across the platform and is now one of the most well-known horror games on Roblox today. Other than doors, a key point in the game is its various monsters, which is exactly what I'll be talking about today. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. We have a bit of a slight change in games this time. We have a new game called Doors. Well, as I just recently said, Doors has blown up, and impressively over a super short period of time, which is right now only like 2 months right now. So it's a very big game right now, and it's one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best Roblox horror games, and very enjoyable. One of the key parts to this game is its monsters. So I will be listing these monsters and describing them and giving you some advice on how to get past them. I will be listing them in order from most relevant, so basically like the main protagonist, to least relevant, which are kind of just little add-ons to the game, but are still there. There are quite a bit of monsters, so without any further ado, let's begin. Starting off with our first monster, the main antagonist, Figure. Figure can appear in two circumstances, or well, rooms, starting off with door 50, the first one, and door 100, the final level, which he will also appear in. Now, I will separate these two since they are different levels, and they both have different patterns for Figure. Starting off with door 50, which is the library, which is exactly as the name suggests, it's a library. Your main goal inside of the library is to find these books with a random symbol and a random number in it. As you just saw there, I just picked up a book. You can tell because they're a bit of a different color to all the other books, and are hanging out of the shelf and make a twinkling sound when you go near them. Your next objective is to go and find a sheet of paper, which is actually right on this desk right here. So you're going to have to pick up the sheet of paper, and on the top it will say that you will have to collect these books with random symbols, and then it will show the symbols in a certain order. Now, these symbols correspond to different numbers. If you open the book, you will see that this symbol means this number, right? So on the side, it also states that this symbol equals this number, so you don't have to remember all in the books. So now you pick up that sheet of paper, and now you're going to have to decode the 5-digit code which opens the door at the end. Now, the 5-digit code is told by the different symbols that are lined up. Since a symbol means a different number, then that means that you have to find the 5 symbols which match into this one. So basically, as you just saw for that kind of half frame there, let's say star equals 8, right? And let's say, for example, star is the first digit of our code. Star is the first thing. Since it's the first one, then that means that the first digit of the code is 8, because star equals 8. So you have to find all of those 5 digits out of the 8 books. Moving on to the next thing, Figure kind of walks around, and you have to hide in cabinets like I just did right there. With the heartbeat minigame, which I just also did, half the heart will go into the middle heart, and you have to press E, right click or tap on the right of your screen, and for the left parts, you have to press Q or click or the left part of your screen either. Now you're gonna have to get these perfect, so you're gonna have to get them centered, and you're basically just gonna have to match them up together. It's a mini game, so if Figure is getting too close, then just play the mini game, and then there you go. Now, Figure growls a lot, and that's guessed by a lot of people to be echolocation. Now this echolocation is used because Figure is blind. Figure does not have any eyes, but he has a giant mouth in the middle of his face. But since he's blind, his other senses have been basically upgraded. So he can hear better, he can sense better, basically. He can hear your footsteps, so you're gonna have to crouch the entire way, which might be a bit of a bad thing to get through, but you'll get used to it. Don't stand up, otherwise Figure will be alerted and then rush towards you. Then he will jump scare you and then kill you. Figure does have a pattern, and he will walk around, like he will go downstairs, upstairs at certain amounts of time. I don't know what exactly the pattern is, but yeah. Not only can Figure sense your footsteps, he can also sense your heartbeat, leading to the heartbeat minigame, where you have to basically control your breathing, and you have to get these halves and everything. It can be a bit difficult, very difficult for newer players who are not used to it. You need to have quick hands, you need to not panic, and you gotta focus, right? You gotta focus as much as you can. Quick overview. So basically, you just have to get the books, get the squares or shapes, find the code on the sheet of paper, and then open the door and then get out. It might take a while, and also the more books that you collect, the faster Figure will walk. So basically, be very careful. I'm pretty sure you can outrun Figure before three books. If you only got one book, I'm pretty sure you can outrun him if you stand up, and if you're like really in a big emergency. Yeah. Personally, with the heartbeat minigame, I wouldn't do it. I would try and avoid it as much as possible, and only would use it in an emergency. Yep. Find books, find digits, find shapes, find the code. Also, quick tip, if you can, use items in your inventory to your advantage, but don't use them too much. And also the digits and shapes are on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. That's pretty much it for the Door 50 Figure. Okay, moving on to the next figure. The next figure is the figure in room 100. Now this figure isn't really that hard to get past. You can either go two ways after the cutscene. You can do what I did and go straight upstairs and use the glitch, which is absolutely hilarious, or go downstairs and play the less riskier way and do the heartbeat minigame. Now, if you're doing the heartbeat minigame, you're just gonna have to wait for him to go away, and then you can go upstairs, grab the electrical key that like I did, and then wait for him, or, well, you don't have to wait for him, but then just go downstairs. But if you did the glitch like I did, you can go upstairs, grab the electrical key like you usually do, and then wait for him to kind of, wait for him to finish doing his business. If you're a speedrunner, then a lot of people would just instantly go down, because usually he's preoccupied at that time. But what I like to do is I just like to keep it safe. So just give it a little wait. And then go downstairs. So you can literally just go straight to the door. Make sure to keep on crouching, otherwise he's probably gonna get alerted. Hold the electrical key that you just grabbed on the crate out in your hand, and then you're gonna go to this door and open the door. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to complete this elevator power minigame, which I'm doing right here. Now, on the top it will say a number with a light either switched on or off. Now, on the electrical board, you either switch it on, whether it says to switch it on or not, or to switch it off, or to switch it off, or to keep it off, I mean. Now you're gonna have to do this 3 times. You're gonna have to do it completely. You're gonna have to get all of the things on to power the elevator, and then once you're finished, you can go back up into the elevator. Now talking about Figure doesn't really do much in this. He kind of just bangs on doors and just kind of peeks around. Doesn't really do much. He's not much of a thing to worry about inside of 100 and door 100. I don't think I'm nearly completely certain that Figure cannot do anything to you while you're doing the puzzle. So yeah, The puzzle is quite fun to do. It might take a while, so you need to have like a fast reaction time since they kind of just flash on and off. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the puzzle. Yeah, there's nothing really else about Figure inside of this level. Once you're finished with it, you don't have to even bother about crouching anymore. You can just run up to the elevator and finish the game. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the Figure, both room 50 and room 100. Let's say you're like me and you just died. Well, here you are. You see an entity called Guiding Light. Well, our next entity is called Guiding Light. Now, Guiding Light appears when you die, and gives you kind of like tips. For example, you die to the Figure when hiding, and it always depends on who you died to. Guiding Light can also appear in rooms, and like dark rooms, like showing you the way, and also on Seek's chase, so showing you like through the showing you where to go. Guiding Light is a friendly entity, and well, doesn't really have much about it. It's a friendly entity, and you should follow its tips. It's actually the thing put into game to help newer players to understand more about the game. So basically, like what I'm doing right now. Now, there isn't much to talk about Guiding Light other than it's a very nice entity and very helpful. And that's it for Guiding Light. Let's say, yeah, you're entering rooms, you're just walking around, you know, enjoying your time, and then you suddenly just see the lights flickering. Well, whatever could that be? Well, that moves us on to our next entity, Rush. Rush is actually one of the most common entities inside of doors, and appears every about 10 doors. Whenever the lights flicker, it usually means that Rush is going to be coming through. Now, Rush technically just rushes through the room, and when he rushes through the room, he will instantly kill you if you're not hiding in a cabinet or a bed. Now, the lights will flicker before Rush is about to come, so you know when he's coming, and he will also make a very, very loud scream. Now, when he rushes through the room, the lights will all smash, and yeah. You instantly die from him. A lot of new players don't understand that you have to actually hide inside of a cabinet, and that's what they're actually for. But yeah, that's Rush. Rush comes in the appearance of like a giant black smiley face thing, and can be quite annoying at times. A lot of speedrunners like to skip rooms whenever the lights flicker, so they can just like go to the next room to save time, you know. For newer players, I wouldn't recommend to do that. Maybe just get the hang of actually getting into a cabinet first. This can be a bit tedious when inside of large lobbies. So because there's limited cabinets. So yeah, the Rush is very similar to another entity which I will be mentioning, and also when you're in higher levels. Like above 50, I would say, you have to wait until Rush is like nearly at you for a good reason, which I'll also explain later. That is pretty much it for Rush. Moving on to our next entity, Seek. Yeah, you see that guy coming out of the floor? That's Seek. He chases you, and he's very angry looking. Seek comes in the appearance of just a guy, which has jet black stuff as skin. I don't know what that is. He has an eye as his face, and just chases you around in a giant hallway like I am right now. There are many obstacles, like you have to duck underneath these furniture, and then you have to like go around roundabouts. And then you have to get like around these arms and fire, falling chandeliers, while also still being chased and under pressure from Seek. There isn't much else to talk about Seek, other than that he is one of the only entities other than Figure that is certain to appear inside of a run. Now, Seek appears twice. First time around door 30 to 40 or something, and the second time around door 60 to 80 or whatever. Somewhere around there. You guys can correct me inside of the comments. Yeah. Seek is a bit difficult. A lot of people get confused with him. Just make sure you go the right way, and you have to be quick about it. Especially in the roundabouts, you have to look left and right to check which one is the real door and which one's not the fake door. That is it for Seek. Moving on to our next entity, Screech. Screech is known to be one of the most hated monsters on doors, and a lot of people say it should be removed, but no, I don't think so, because Screech is placed because Screech gives like a nice feel to dark rooms and makes dark rooms more scarier and not just dark rooms. Now Screech appears in dark rooms. Well, yeah, and Screech will make himself known by making a psst sound inside of your ear. And then that means that you have to turn around and see if you can find Screech. Here in this video, I didn't have much lighter fluid, and it was a locked room, which was really annoying. And so, if you look at Screech in time, if he says psst, and then you look at him, then he's gonna jump scare you, but he's not gonna bite you. But if you do not look at him fast enough, he'll bite you, just like right there. And will take away like 60% of your damage. Screech comes in the appearance of a little round circle face thing with teeth and eyes that kind of just lurks around and then sticks onto you. Yep, I can see why he's one of the most hated, but I mean, he's part of the game. He's a nice entity. Come on, he gives a feel to the game. You can avoid Screech. You can decrease the chance of Screech spawning by staying inside of a light, like for example this guiding light right here, which is right in front of a door, and or staying at windows with like light in them, or staying or having a lighter or a light source with you. And that's it for Screech. Our next entity is called Eyes. Well, I don't have him really on footage because for a good reason, but I'll just put a picture here so you guys know what Eyes looks like. Yeah, so Eyes is basically just a giant globe of eyes making strange noises. If you look at the eyes, then it will cause you damage, small amounts of damage, but very, very quickly. He will emit a purple light, which spreads usually around the room. If you see that purple light, just look straight down, and then you can walk past him. You can actually walk straight through him, because the hitbox, you can literally walk straight through him. You don't have to mind about him, as long as you don't look at him. Just look straight at the ground when you're going through one of these rooms. It's a very simple entity. It's just a globe of eyes that you shouldn't look at. It doesn't like being stared at, and you can just continue on with your room. Once you go to the next room, he'll disappear, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Eyes. There's not much to talk about Eyes, so yeah, that's it for Eyes. Now moving on to our next entity, a monster that a lot of people get quite confused with, and a lot of people do not like. It is very simple, and I can show you why. This entity is called Halt. Let's say you see the lights flickering for a very long time, longer than usual. A lot of people think that this is Rush, but no, it's not Rush. It's actually Halt. In the next room, there will be a long dark hallway with Halt inside of it. So if you see the screen flicker with a message saying turn around, you can turn around and walk the other way. You have to do that, and you have to do that said turning around and walking away, and then keep on doing that until you get to the end of the room. Very simple, but a lot of people panic because the ghost looks a bit scary. And yeah, if you run into the ghost and you don't turn around, you're gonna take like 40 damage, and then a lot of people get disorientated at that time. Now, once you've finished doing that, you can go to the end of the room, and if you want to, you can loot. You can come back in and then loot the room. Personally, a lot of people, and me too, we don't turn around. Just walk backwards. It's actually faster. And for speedrunners, they usually stop and then just walk back forward. Halt is pretty easy. The main thing to do is not to panic. A lot of people panic, get disorientated, get confused, and then die to Halt. That is pretty much it for Halt. Alright, now moving on to our next monster. It's called Hide. Hide is a monster that hides inside of cabinets and will attack you if you stay inside of a cabinet for too long. Now, Hide will attack you the further you are into a run through. So basically, Hide will attack you faster in door 90 than in door 100, than in door 10, for example. Screen will flash red, and then it will say get out, and then you'll get kicked out. Yep. You'll also take damage. This can be a bit of a problem, especially if you're encountering Rush, or another entity, which is also very important, which I'll be next talking about. Hide, yeah. So basically, if you see like an entity, make sure to wait until the entity is close, and then get inside, but not too close that you are at the risk of dying. Now, so you're gonna wait like this, and then when you hear it, and then you get in, and then it passes, and then you get out again. Right? So just don't stay into cabinets for too long. That is it for Hide. Alright, our next monster is called Ambush. Ambush usually only appears in doors 90 or later doors, and has a very rare chance to appear somewhere at like door 3. So if you've encountered Ambush at door 3, you consider yourself lucky. Now, Ambush is nearly exactly like Rush. He just comes back multiple times. Yeah, you'll see the lights flickering like usual, and then, but you'll hear like a different scream. It'll more sound like a car. And then Ambush will flick by, and then you're gonna have to get out because of Hide, alright? If you don't get out, you're gonna get booted out by Hide, and then you're just gonna die from Ambush. It's not good, yeah? So, get out after Ambush does his first run through, and then get back in once Ambush is coming back again. Ambush comes in the appearance of like nearly a pale face with like a giant creepy mouth and very pale, or well, just void eyes, and with kind of like very, very faint teeth on his mouth. And yeah, that is pretty much it for Ambush. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Ambush. Yeah, he can also come back 2 to 6 times in one attack. So yeah, watch out for Ambush. Moving on to our next monster, Glitch. This right here is Glitch. Glitch appears when there is either a map generation glitch, or when you're too far behind with your friends. The second variant of Glitch only works with other people, because, yeah. So, there's not really much you can avoid about Glitch. If Glitch jump scares you because of the map generation glitch, then no damage will be taken. But if you stay too far behind from your friends, then Glitch will take damage from you, like 40 damage, and then teleport you back to your friends. Glitch is unavoidable. Unless you stay with your friends, but with the map generation thing, Glitch is completely unavoidable. It comes in the figure of like a person with what would I call it? It's like a jet black person with like glitchy things around him, and then he makes a loud noise and then just teleports you. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Glitch. Let's say you open a cabinet, let's say to hide from, I don't know, Rush, or maybe to hide from Figure. And then just something pops out at you from the cabinet, and that thing is called Jack. It makes a loud screeching noise and makes the lights flicker in the room. And when Jack is attacking, he doesn't really do much. He can't harm you at all. He's literally just a jump scare that will scare players and prevent players from getting in. He can damage you, but not directly, through not letting you inside of a cabinet by blocking you from getting inside by using the jump scare. There is a 1 in 20 chance of Jack appearing inside of one of these cabinets. So yeah, watch out when you're inside of the cabinets. Jack comes in the appearance of kind of like a skeletal guy with like a giant big grin and big eyes, and it looks very scary, and it has a big smile, almost similar to Rush's. And yeah, like I said, it's just a jump scare, nothing to be worried about, no damage probably being caused, and yeah, that's pretty much it for Jack. Going on to our last monster. Well, it's not really a monster, but it's there. It's Timothy. Timothy is a spider that has a 1 in 200 chance of spawning when you open a drawer. Timothy will kind of just sit there in the drawer for like half a second, and then lunge at your face, dealing 5 damage and jump scaring you at the same time. He usually catches you with the jump scare because you usually feel safe when you're opening drawers, but surprisingly not anymore because of Timothy. Timothy could be very, very annoying at times, even though he's basically just a jump scare from the very little amount of damage that he does. Yeah. Timothy can be quite rare, but still a lot of people open drawers a lot and encounter Timothy. Timothy does not have the ability to kill you, even if you're at a really low amount of health. Timothy's just a little spider with 4 legs, with red eyes or green eyes, depending on which model you're talking about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Timothy doesn't really have much to it, except for being scary and being quite annoying at times. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for Timothy. From the big and scary figure to the tiny little Timothy, well, we finished all of the monsters inside of the game. Hopefully there will be more monsters added into the game in later updates, since this game is still quite new. It would be a shame to see if any of these monsters got removed. They all play a big and important role inside of the game. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will be making more Doors videos soon. So, well, have a great day, and I hope you enjoyed. Bye!